Alright, so I've finished the story of the game. By the time I make this video, I am hunter rank 78 or something like that, and I think I've seen every single creature in this game. I've cross-checked multiple sources and I think I've already caught every endemic life and aquatic life. So I thought now I can finally formulate my review. First, let's talk about diversity. I think the diversity is proper. I've seen many people complain about the lack of monsters, which I'm not gonna talk about exactly how many because that would be a spoiler. My view on this is, well, I personally don't feel that way. Not a single bit. Perhaps that's because diversity is more important for me than quantity. I mean like, if there is 10 different Rathalos in the game, I would see all of those as simply Rathalos, which doesn't excite me that much. I would rather see 3 different creatures than 5 variants of Rathalos and 5 variants of Diablos, for example. Oh, and also, I did not see any gameplay past the first beta. I did not watch any trailers, did not watch any streams from the devs, did not follow the news, did not play the second and third beta, and of course, did not stumble upon any leaks. Basically, I avoided Wild's news as much as I can because I want to experience everything myself as I play the game. You know, I want to be surprised and be amazed. And yeah, I think that works really well for me. Another thing that the general players don't appreciate is small monsters and endemic life. Perhaps because I'm a zoologist, I see each of the creatures as, well, important, equally. Whether it's an endemic life, including aquatic life of course, whether it's small monsters, whether it's large monsters, every single creature matters to me. And yes, Wilds have a lot of those, and many of those are new, and I was so excited when I saw new creatures which were not in the previous titles. Speaking of endemic lives, if you had watched my video where I explored Windward Plains during the beta, you'll know that I was so amazed by how much effort they put onto the endemic lives, at least compared to previous titles. And yeah, I am not disappointed when I saw the other areas. You can see several interesting interactions if you just take your time and observe the endemic lives. Some of the rare endemic lives are also, well, hard to find I guess? Some of them only spawn in specific conditions, but you can use your logic to figure it out, to some extent at least. What's quite unfortunate for me is the achievement. Wait, actually, that might be spoilery, so just look away or close your eyes for a moment, okay? You can keep listening. Alright, so there are only this amount of achievements related to endemic lives, which, if I'm not mistaken, is less than Monster Hunter World, even though there are more endemic lives in Monster Hunter Wilds, compared to the base game I mean, not including Iceborne. By the way, now the screen is safe to look at, you don't need to look away anymore. Fundamentally, I don't care that much about achievements or trophies. However, the existence of achievements could help you realize there are still rare endemic lives to see. You know, for those who don't really want to Google it, perhaps to avoid spoilers like I do, or whatever the reason might be. So yeah, it's quite unfortunate because the endemic life which net you trophies in this game are not even that rare in my opinion. There are rarer creatures with no trophy at all. And one of them, oh boy, I don't think I would realize it exists if I did not look up the list of endemic lives. That is the only one I missed when I saw the list, so yeah. Oh, by the way, aquatic lives have its own section in the game. You know, its own menu. Speaking of aquatic lives, I love the improvement they made to the fishing mechanic. Not only is it more interactive, it also adds variance to the aquatic lives. And also, in my perspective, it adds more soul to the aquatic lives. It adds some realism to it. Unfortunately, the game doesn't really make the mechanic obvious. I've seen a lot of people are confused. Well, in one side, figuring out how it works could be really fun, which is why I love it. However, I understand if other people found it frustrating because they don't know how it works. Okay, so I think most people would agree that they did put a lot of effort in the ecology aspect, but what about the presentation of said ecology aspect? Overall, I personally think it's good. They put a lot of emphasis on the ecology even in the story. By ecology, I don't mean a short clip of each monsters like the ecology of large monsters in old Monster Hunter titles. The game have many ecological interactions, including endemic life by the way. In some part of the story, you are required to walk around the area, and while doing so, you are given the prompt to observe the endemic lives and small monsters. A literal button pop up to focus your camera on them. The story also emphasized the interaction between humans and nature, the consequences and impact of your action. It's not just the usual straightforward, oh monster dangerous ghostly thingy like in the previous titles. And also, you might even learn some biology terms while playing the game, if you pay attention to the story and dialogue that is. Another thing that I appreciate is, as you progress through the story, when you try to attack a monster that you haven't encountered in the story, Alma will tell you the guild haven't granted you the authority yet, which is kinda cool, because it showed how the guild actually does regulate the hunting to avoid overexploitation in the universe. I don't know what would happen if you still slay it though. I immediately stopped attacking during my playthrough, so yeah. Now, I did say overall good. There are two things that I don't like about the presentation. The first is... I cannot exactly tell you without spoiling something, and that is a major spoiler to the story. Let's just say, something is very unnatural. I mean, even to the standard of Monster Hunter. Well, based on previous titles at least. Those who have completed the story should know what I'm talking about. In my opinion, the writing is not that good. It left a lot of unexplained stuff. If we're talking about the premise of the story, I am indifferent. You know, it could be good or it could be bad, depends on the writing. Now, the story that we got right now is, well, like I said, full of unexplained stuff, which is why I don't like it. It's like if someone brought you a food. You begin to wonder where did it came from, why did they bring you a food, is it really safe to eat, etc. But you don't even have the chance to ask. They just shove the food in your mouth. The taste of the food itself is not bad, but at that point, there are things stuck in your mind which makes you unable to fully enjoy the food. Okay, that might be a really weird analogy, but yeah, that's basically how I feel about that particular part of the story. Oh, by the way, don't forget that I am a zoologist. I couldn't help but think about the rationality and how natural things feel. If you purely think about it as a plot in a Monster Hunter game, it might be very exciting and incredible for you. But yeah, anyway, let's talk about updates and improvements. So, in some of my previous videos, I said that I am waiting for a taxonomic revision in Monster Hunter universe. And it finally happened, and I was so happy to see that. Some creatures are reclassified. There are also new creatures that are classified in entirely new categories. Yes, plural by the way, but I am not gonna tell you what it is. However, one thing that I'm kinda bummed about is the White Wraith. I'm not sure if the monster's name itself was revealed in trailers or pre-release stream, so I'm just gonna call it the White Wraith. You know, the flagship monster. The White Wraith was advertised as an extinct species, many times in multiple media. In one of my previous videos, I talked about how impactful this can be to the phylogenetic tree. I thought, oh, this could change a lot or at least give a lot of materials for phylogenetic analysis. But no, there's barely any. They don't really talk about the species. They just tell you why the White Wraith exists right here right now, in the story. That's it. They don't really talk about why they were extinct. They don't talk about when they went extinct. They don't talk about how they know the White Wraith is supposed to be extinct. This is one of the things that I said earlier, where the writing left a lot of unexplained stuff in the story. To be fair, I get it that a lot of people play Monster Hunter for the gameplay. I know some even skip the story or just look at their second monitor or phone while dialogues are going on. So yeah, I get it, but it's such a missed opportunity to not delve deeper into this interesting concept. Well, to be fair, we could potentially get a lot more info in the book that would most likely be released soon enough. We'll see. Still talking about updates, some returning monsters also have updated behavior and sound. Updated behavior is a thing in many titles before, but a sound update to this extent is quite rare. In this one, I instantly realized monsters make a different sound than the one in previous titles. One of them is straight up a grizzly bear roar, which is kind of funny to me because the bear monster doesn't sound like a bear, while this thing literally has a bear sound while not resembling a bear at all. But yeah, in general, the sound design is phenomenal, especially the apexes. If you watch my Windward Plains exploration video, you would know how excited I am when I realized the mechanism of radar sound. And yeah, the other apexes also have phenomenal sound design. You know what? Let's talk about the apexes for a bit. In general, I think all of the apexes have interesting and neat design. When I first saw all of them, there are some things that I speculate and wonder about, and most of those can be confirmed by observing them in game, which is amazing. If there is one thing that I dislike about the apexes, is the fact that they are not equal. I mean, yeah, naturally they wouldn't be equal. They live in entirely different habitats, different areas, and in real world, each habitat are unique, with its own ecosystem. And of course, that includes food chain, keystone species, etc. So yeah, them not being equal makes perfect sense. However, if we're looking at it as a part of the game, it's quite unfortunate. Like, if I ask those of you who have finished the game to the end of the high rank quest, which one is the strongest apex, I'm pretty sure the answer would be unanimous. Meanwhile, if you compare it to the Fated 4 in Generation, it's pretty much equal. In Monster Hunter Wilds, some of the apex are not really shown apexing. Those who have finished the story will know what I mean, so yeah. Oh, by the way, one of the apexes is my new favorite non-elder monster. Maybe because I didn't know anything about it aside from its name and a Hirabami trailer screenshot that accidentally showed its hat on it. Like I said, I tried to avoid pre-release information as much as I could. Seeing it for the first time was a wonder. Actually, seeing it over and over again is still a wonder. It got me interested in learning a little bit of thermodynamics because I want to understand how this creature works. The theme is also amazing. I even make it my morning alarm. Oh, by the way, I am deliberately trying to avoid saying its name because, maybe some people are also trying to avoid as much spoilery information as they can, and I do want to make this video as spoiler free as I can. So yeah. Speaking about names, I do pay extra attention to etymology because it's also one of the important aspects of my field, which is animal systematics, which includes taxonomy, which includes nomenclature. So yeah, I thought most of them would be Spanish names, but no. There are also Japanese names, of course, but also ancient Greek and Maori, I think. There is Arabic, Sanskrit, or maybe Hindi, Chinese, and surprisingly, even Indonesian and Malaysian. So yeah, it's kinda neat. I will point this out in the not spoiler-free videos. One of the things which is quite confusing to me is the fact that we, in Universe, our group, instantly know the name of some monsters, which would mean we did know they exist before. That includes some of the apexes. If that is intended, that would mean said apex exists in other region of the universe, which is, let's just say, quite interesting. Oh, another neat thing for me is the fact that our character is a veteran hunter. We are not a newbie. We know a lot of stuff about monsters and we make remarks about them, which is cool for me because, well, I simply prefer that kind of character. But anyway, I think I've said what I want to say. Let's save the rest for the not spoiler-free review and observation videos. I will make a video for each area, and it will include things that I omit from this video. Well, if I remember, that is. By the way, even though I did find all of the creatures, there are some speculations that I still would like to confirm. Hypotheses that I would like to test. So I will still be exploring the area for quite a while. I will most likely upload each video weekly in the order of appearance story-wise. I'm not gonna do one for Windward Plains though, because, well, I already did basically. So next week would be Scarlet Forest. which is the one that I was most excited for before release because rainforest is the habitat which I am most familiar with in real world. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you have been or will be enjoying Monster Hunter Wilds. If you're busy and haven't got a chance to play the game as much, then hey, take your time, don't rush, because it might ruin your enjoyment. Do it at your own pace. If you have been playing for hours, then hey, make sure to take a break from time to time. Don't burn out. But whatever you do, hope things will work out for you. Enjoy your day.